Welcome back, sports gamers. It's the Natural. Got the October Madden 19 update, and they have a ton of stuff in it. These have been, people are still complaining about the game. They're going to complain about the game in the day. Some people don't like the game. It's not going to make a difference what they do. But compared to last year, years prior, these updates have been huge. And the things that they fixed, the things they've been adding is really impressive. And I despite how some feel, regardless, I kudos off to the dev team. They've really gotten a lot of fixes in and a lot of additions in there as far as like player likeness, gameplay, franchise, ultimate team. Like they've basically touched on a lot of issues the game had and resolved it in these title updates. So we up to another big one here for October. And let's start off with franchise. Here you actually have gameplay of the update right there for you guys to check out. Always like getting a couple of games in before I do these videos and get my kind of thoughts and feelings on it. So I'm gonna go through some of the big ones. Let's start off with franchise, which they added the ability for Atlanta, Houston, Arizona, Indianapolis, and Dallas to have an open roof if the weather is within acceptable NFL standards. And also, just to make sure you guys know, I'm gonna do this title update and go over these things, but also I will cover the player likeness in a separate video, going showing all the new updated player likenesses that they have, as well as one for the new equipment that they added. So just going through quickly. Fix the issue when the formation subs will not save for 4-3 wide, nickel 3-3-5, and nickel 3-3-5 wide, and double A gap. And they added the ability for the commentary to reference draft class players if they actually have recorded that name. So that's a good one. So the announcers will say the names of your creative players and extra players and drafted guys more now. That's really cool. That's something that they kind of promised like 2 years ago with the new team, commentary team. Was, well, it's in now. All right, so fix the issue with the game will not proceed with starting a cloud franchise. There were some guys having issues with that. I've seen in the comment section having issues starting their franchise. That should be resolved there. They fixed the issue with the text and some things overlapping on the staff changes menu and the re-sign staff menu, and added team color to the team salaries menu. Fixed the issue where the game where the snapshots wouldn't save if the game time is a long game time. I've seen that before. And that's it for the franchise. The visual updates, they updated a ton of players. Kamara, I have a separate video on the channel about that, how they got the tape in and his nose ring. Some folks still want the golds. You know, I mean, some people want everything. They want the golds, they want the Skittles, they want everything. But they did add a bunch of players like this, and I'll cover that in a separate video. They got some good players in there. More than double the number of team celebrations available after touchdowns using the user celebration mechanic. Added new touchdown celebrations for Ezekiel Elliott, and added the billionaire strut to the swagger user celebration. You do the swagger celebration when you score, and you press in on the right analog stick, and they'll do a swagger user celebration, in case you guys didn't know that. Fix the issue that sometimes causing the passing feedback text stay on the screen too long, and the Eagles Jumbotron to not display the image correctly. And they added new helmets and face masks. Like I said, it's going to be on a separate video. I'm going to show those. The Shut F7 guys have wanted that so long. The Vengeance Z10 Zenith Epic helmet, and they have 6 new face masks as well into the game. Gonna do a separate video covering players who have that and just showing it off. Gameplay, get into the gameplay, the meat of everything. They tuned to increase the frequency of face mask penalties using strip ball turn to aggressive. They tuned to allow quarterbacks chances to fumble when tackled with a hit stick, which is great. So many times I've hit stick quarterbacks and I'm like, man, you should fumble every time with that. So even when they hold down the cover ball, you still can fumble. This is a competitive and simulation game modes. They tuned to improve the running animation used when the ball carrier makes slight direction changes when holding the acceleration burst. That's good. Just kind of trying to clean up a little bit. The real player motion people are still kind of wonky a little bit. And in this game, I didn't notice that one in a huge bit, but I spent more time running the ball. Tuned to decrease the disengage angles for defenders versus the run game. They have a dev note there. A disengage is different than a block shed and is dictated by strength rating of 2 players involved in the block. By decreasing the angles, defenders will have to wait longer to disengage away from blockers as the ball carrier runs through the line. Because they looked at the game data, they saw that scoring and yards and running yard, everything was down. So they wanted to get that back up and improve the running game a bit, make it easier to run. Running game is tough to run, especially if you're playing on all Madden and especially all Madden simulation mode. But I felt like you really have to work and grind for it, and they made it easier. And I did notice in this game, the guys, I felt like they did hold the blocks longer. I felt like it was more of a chance to get through the holes. And I made some terrible cuts in some of the footage there, but I felt like it was easier to get through the line. Guys weren't just auto block shedding, disengaging immediately. So they definitely did buff the run game on there. I didn't notice. I felt like it was easier to run. They added logic to prevent extremely late fair catches called on kick returns. When catching a kick return punt, you'd be limited to a time window over the call fair catch. All right, that's aligned with the NFL rules there. They tune stamina when holding down the acceleration burst mechanic to better align defensive players with offensive players. That applies simulation. I gotta see what exactly that one means there. On pass coverage, they improve zone logic for cover 3 and cover 4 versus multiple crossing routes, such as PA boot overplays. That's good. A lot of times guys get wide open on that. Finish the fix from previous title update in cover 3 to correctly cover both the flat and the wheel route on the fake screen wheel plays. That was a fix they put in, so they improved on that one. They put that in the last one. Fix the issue causing deep zone players to sometimes not react deep routes when using man up 3 deep out of quarter formation. Improve zone logic for cover 6 and cover 4 quarters coverages versus trips. That's good. They got that going. Tuned to decrease the frequency of defenders playing the ball with covering routes well in front of the intended receiver. That is nice. So a lot of times, especially you can check out my franchise series, people throw a lot of picks. They'll see a defender underneath, and it seemed like the receiver is like 20 yards downfield, and they bullet it. The defender would just react and pick it off. So in the game, I didn't notice a ton. So for me, I high pass a lot, so I didn't have a problem with that. But for people who don't high pass, they just throw straight bullets. They were getting frustrated that linebackers were leaping up and knocking down or picking off passes to receivers that were 20 yards behind that linebacker. So it looks like they didn't change anything with the ball trajectory, but just the frequency of defenders playing the ball kind of toned that down. So that's something you got to watch out for more in that. Some more fixes for real player motion. They addressed the issue causing kick and punt returns sometimes use different running animations than they were playing in their regular positions. That is a big one because that little high step weird looking on the kick return. That's good. I didn't have many kick returns in the game, so I didn't really notice that one. But that's a good fix. A rare issue causing players to shuffle in a run off the field after the end of a play. Fix the rare issue causing the quarterback to throw a very accurate pass either sideways or backways when throwing a short route to a receiver making a sudden change of direction. Fix the issue causing a QB to sometimes fail to hand off to the back on halfback blunt dive plays. Seen that. Fix the issue causing the ball to appear in the wrong hand for punters on safety punts. Interesting. And they have some pre-play stuff in here where they kind of tune the jog animations and players to reset defensive players' adjustments and cause defensive linemen to run into each other on different stuff. So that's just after the pre-play or the play's over to make sure that clean that up and that looks nice. The catching, address the issue preventing a catch animation from triggering if the user, when you're using a defender and they're using ball hawk timing interception, now an actual animation will trigger even the button is pressed too early but result in a drop. People were upset that they were using ball hawk trying to pick stuff off and their player just wouldn't react. Really, it was just them mistiming it, but the fact that he didn't react, it gave them, it looked like it was broken. But really, now he'll actually put his hands up, but then drop the interception because it wasn't timed properly. Made improvements to animation coverage for fumble recoveries. Oh my goodness, so many complaints on trying to pick the ball up and pick fumbles up. So I didn't have any fumbles in the game like that to really test this one, but I hope this fixes it because I've seen crazy stuff with fumbles this year. That's a good fix if that's working properly. Blocking, tuned to improve pass blocking for running backs in the backfield. They've done this more than one time. They had the same thing previously and pick up nickel blitzes and when the running back to this needs to be tuned properly in this one because running backs are super stupid in the pass blocking game this year. Fix some issues causing blocking fullbacks on toss plays to obstruct the toss and cause a fumble. Improve logic for pass rush exploits dealing with defenders placed in coverage or a QB spy assignment who would then quickly rush up the middle formation. That was one people were doing after the last update, getting unrealistic pressure when they would just put themselves linebacker and a QB spy and then rush up the gap and get pressure on there. And a field goal exploit. NFL rules, they fixed the issue preventing illegal blocking the back penalties from triggering in simulation style. They got some Madden Ultimate Team updates. They added a new MUT ability, route specialist, which gives receivers unique high routes depending on the position. They can run a post, a corner, angle, or stick and nod. This is something that competitive players have been asking for a while. I know they weren't too happy about the fact that it's tied to a ability, so you actually have to pay in order to unlock some of these with points. So I know some guys weren't happy about that. I saw a problem with a few people tweeting about it, but it's kind of like team play. People wanted it, and they put it back, but it's in MUT, so it's like not how people wanted it. So I'm sure people won't be totally happy about that, even though they've been asking for this for a while. Fix the issue causing players in MUT equipped with situation pass rush to lose stamina too quickly. From footsteps ability, applying to the proper penalties receivers on competitive game style. Address the issue preventing the MUT under pressure ability from applying to proper bonuses. Issue preventing MUT out my way ability from applying to proper bonuses. And the MUT stiff arms specialist ability, as well as address the issue preventing the wide receiver off the line release mechanics, foot fire, change up from working properly in MUT squads, and added the ability to post auctions with now you can actually go in MUT, you can actually post the auction exactly the exact number that you want to put up for. It's not a predetermined number anymore. So that is it for that update. They covered a lot of stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna have separate videos coming for the player likeness and the equipment. So let me know what you guys think. What things are get out, play the game, download the update, play the game, then give some feedback in the comments. Would you guys have it? I do share that feedback with the devs, is recorded, so the next update we can fix any issues that you're still having. So let me know in the comments below. People are listening and watching. I do read the comments. I respond to the ones that are just random attacks or anger, but someone who actually has good feedback there, I do supply that to the devs. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this update. They did fix a lot of stuff. Like I said, I got more coming. So if you did like the video, make sure you drop a like. And if you want more content here, Madden 19 at Sports Gamers Online, this is The Natural. I'm out.